Today's decluttering task is to go through my lipstick collection. I've definitely been putting this off. When I shared my makeup collection declutter about a month ago, I want to say, I asked whether you would like to see me go through my lipstick collection, and most of you said yes, you would. So here I am. I decided to finally get myself into gear and finally go through my lipstick collection with you. Now, I can't promise that this is going to be a successful declutter. I find it incredibly difficult to declutter lipsticks. I don't know what it is, but I just want to hold on to every single one. So we'll see how we get going. If this turns out to be an awful declutter, at least you get to see my current lipstick collection. So I have two drawers here. This is drawer number one, which essentially has a lot of gold lipsticks. If you watch my usual style videos, then you'll know that this sort of makes part of my video background, I guess. So I keep all of my gold lipsticks at the bottom, so in the bottom drawer. And then in my top drawer, it's so full, it's really hard to remove these, but at the top I just have MAC lipsticks. I mean, this one's kind of out of place, but usually what you see are the MAC lipsticks on the top row. I find that with these videos the hardest thing is to start, so I'm just going to empty out the drawers and we'll go from there. So let me start off with Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury is one of those really coveted brands, I have to say. I was really excited to start my Charlotte Tilbury collection. I have 5 lipsticks within my collection, and honestly, I'm probably going to keep all 5. Starting off with what I would consider to be an utmost Charlotte Tilbury classic, and this is Pillow Talk. It's such a beautiful colour. It's a classic for a reason, in my opinion. So Pillow Talk, definitely staying. Then I have the shade Super You, which is definitely a darker, more mauvey brown tone. Not necessarily my go-to, but I really like layering that lipstick. So again, big fan. Then I have Red Carpet Red. This was such a classic for me. I wanted this for such a long time, and I think I got it as a Christmas present a few years back. Absolutely love it. It's such a classic rich red. Next up we have Penelope Pink. Now, despite the name, this really isn't very pink in my opinion. It's definitely a nude neutral tone. On the lips on me, it's definitely a very nude sort of colour, but it's another really great one at layering. And this is another Pillow Talk, but this is actually in the shade 2 medium. So I believe Pillow Talk have 3 different shades. They have the normal Pillow Talk 2, which is this one, and then Pillow Talk 3, which is much deeper. It's essentially meant to make Pillow Talk suit loads of different skin tones. So just for comparison, let me compare the original, which is this one, and then the medium 2, which is this one. And as you can see, it's got the same sort of purpley tones, but the original Pillow Talk is much pinker. And actually, if I do a quick swatch for you as well, this is Pillow Talk the original, and then Pillow Talk medium 2. I think you can see much better here what I'm saying. They've still got that same pinky purpley undertone, but medium 2 is a lot darker. So that's my collection of Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. They're all very classic in my opinion, and like I said, I'm keeping them all. Then I have one YSL lipstick. This lipstick I've never ever used. It was a gift for, I believe it was my 21st birthday. And actually, I know I featured this in so many of these videos. I mean, as I said, I've never used it. And my friend who bought me this was literally like, I can't believe I bought you that lipstick and you've never used it. But genuinely, it's because it's just so special to me. It's so beautiful. And I really just want to treasure this forever as one of my first luxury lipsticks. So it's absolutely stunning, but as I said, completely unused, brand new. I believe this is the shade 32, but it's so pretty. I mean, can you blame me? I just want to look at this all day long. Definitely keeping. a duo of Bobbi Brown lipsticks next. These are fairly recent in my collection actually. So I have this brown tone colour, a really rich colour, which is in the shade Claret. And then I have a stunning red. You'll notice throughout this video that I do really, really love a red lipstick. And this one is in the shade Sunset Orange. I mean, it's stunning. It does have orange in the name, but I don't really think that will be a very orangey lipstick. I just think it's going to be a really bright, beautiful one for the summer. Definitely one I want to use. I'm 100% keeping this one. I think it's absolutely stunning. And the same goes for this one. It does look slightly darker in the bullet, but it comes out as much lighter and just a really beautiful tone on the lips. Another duo, this time from Lancome. Lancome have the coolest lipstick packaging. I don't know if any of you have any Lancome lipsticks, but you essentially push at the top, it pops out at the bottom, and that's how you open these. I always think it's so cool. This is the most beautiful, like, velvety finish. I don't know how easily you can tell that. I mean, absolutely not at the moment because my camera's gone completely blurry, but it's just the most beautiful, like, velvety texture. It's stunning. This is in the shade Killing Me Softly, which is a beautiful pinky tone. I feel like you're really going to notice that I usually keep a pinky neutral kind of shade and then a gorgeous red. This red is in the shade Not Flirting, and it's just stunning. Another beautifully bright red, perfect for the summer. So I think you can probably guess it. Also going to keep these two. Just realised I missed out another Lancome. I think this is more of their classic packaging, so the black and gold, but same situation of how you open this up. And this is a brownie, more of a cream finish as well. The other two shades were matte finishes. This one is obviously a bit more of a creamy finish. This is in the shade French Tears. It's the only one that I have in this sort of finish. Also going to keep. So this is the front of the drawer, pretty much populated. I like to keep it in the same sort of colour. I'm going to do a slight move around here, I think, just because actually I don't think that looks nicer. I was thinking it might look a little bit nicer, but I don't actually think it does. So just because these two are kind of the same rose gold finish, whereas maybe I'll do it like this, because I think this gold one is just so rich and so gold. Or maybe I could put it on this side. Yeah, maybe I'll do it like that, because these all sorts of flow a little bit better, I think. Anyway, we're going to go for that. I do still have all of these lipsticks, which also came from the top drawer. Hopefully, maybe some of these will go. We'll see. Let's start off with, these are Too Faced. Now, this was their Lady Bold collection. So I have 3 of these that I ended up keeping. Too Faced very kindly sent me this whole collection when it launched. I, generally speaking, try not to keep every single thing because I know I'm not going to use them all. So I kept 3 from the collection, which I thought would be my most used. As a forewarning, they have some incredible reds in this collection. So starting off with a red, I mean, how stunning is this? So this is in the shade Unafraid, and it's a really stunning red. This is more of a creamy red though, and typically I prefer a matte red just because I think it's slightly easier to wear. So that, I guess we will say, is a maybe. This is a nude colour instead. This is in the shade Hype Woman. I really, really loved this actually when it came out. I just thought it was such a nice colour. It's definitely more of a nude toned colour, but it's so pretty. Again, it's that cream finish, which is so perfect for like spring in my opinion. And finally, this one of course is a red. This is actually their classic red colour, which is why it comes in the different packaging. So this packaging is actually red. This is Lady Bold, so the namesake of the whole collection. And this is, oh, just a beautiful, really, really rich, almost browny red tone actually. Really, really like that one. Honestly, I like all of these reds, to be honest with you. And I do think I'm not doing myself any favours in going through my lipsticks by brands as opposed to by colours, because we've definitely seen a lot of reds that are similar to this one. So I think I'm going to declutter this one purely because I have similar options. If you're interested, this is it swatched. I mean, it is very beautiful, but I think it's gonna go. On the other hand though, keeping these two. Have to mention the magnetic of these. So satisfying. I know that this is another red. This is a Pat McGrath lipstick. This is Another lipstick that I received as a gift from that friend who also got me the YSL lipstick. She has very good lipstick taste, but this is a beautiful red. I loved this at Christmas time. You can see it's the perfect matte red. Oh, I absolutely love it. And this is in the shade Obsessed, which I think could not be a more perfect name for such a rich red like this one. Absolutely keeping. Back to Too Faced next, and this is a Never Grow Up lipstick. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually more of a like almost like a lip sheen kind of, so it's not your standard like lipstick packaging. It's just a really nice colour to just wear when maybe you're not doing like too much makeup but you still want a nice colour. I really do like that one. Then we have a Morphe lipstick. I'm pretty sure this is another red. Of course it is. I think the moral of the story is I have too many red lipsticks. This is in the shade Dominate and it's a super matte lipstick. I don't have any other Morphe lipsticks, which is tempting me to keep this one, but I'm also not that attached to it, so we'll see. I'm going to leave that one as a maybe for now. This is a NARS lipstick. I just love NARS lipstick packaging. It's so nice. And how nice is this? It's a beautiful cream colour, just a stunning nude colour. This is in the shade Anita, and if I'm not mistaken, this was actually part of one of their Christmas collections, so I don't know if you can get it anymore, which definitely tempts me to keep it. From Bare Minerals, this is their gorgeous red in the shade Energy. This is one of the only cream finish red lipsticks that I actually gravitate towards a lot, so I'm 100% going to keep this one. I definitely have more of these Bare Minerals colours, maybe at my boyfriend's house, but I have at least one or two more. But this red I always keep because I think it's so hard to get a cream red that's actually nice, and this one is definitely one that I love wearing. So this is what we're left with. I do also have these two from Too Faced that I've already said I'm going to be keeping. So this is the lineup I've been left with. Quite a few reds, to be honest with you, but let me start off with what I know I'm absolutely keeping. So first up, the Bare Minerals, definitely want to keep that. Next is Pat McGrath. This is also staying. I'm keeping this from Too Faced as well, purely because it's the only one I have like this, so keeping. And then here is where we get to the hard part, because I kind of feel like these are all very similar. However, I'm going to keep Lady Bold from Too Faced because it's the namesake of this collection. Decluttering the Morphe lipstick, keeping this Lady Bold, and also going to keep the NARS. A few liquid lipsticks up next. Honestly, I don't use these as much as I once used to. I have two from Hourglass, clearly a very pinky type shade, and then a slightly more brown toned colour. I'm actually going to swatch all of these to decide which to keep and which not to keep. So here comes my very unflattering and veiny hand. This is, as you can see, a very like browny tone. This is the shade Touch, part of the Velvet Story collection by Hourglass. Next up, from the same Velvet Story collection, this is the shade Pure, which is definitely much more my cup of tea. It's that sort of browny pink tone, which I love. Then this is a NARS Orgasm gloss, so I don't really think this is going to have a huge colour payoff, but it's just a really nice one to pop over lipstick, so I'm going to keep that. And from Bare Minerals, this is from their Mineralist collection, and this is in the shade Heart. It's yet another gloss, but this one definitely has a much higher colour payoff. So for me, out of this collection that I've swatched, the odd one out and the one that's going to go is this Hourglass one. It's just a little bit too dark, not really my kind of thing, so this going. Then I have 4 of the NARS Power Matte lipsticks. These are beautiful. I really love these. Genuinely, I think I'm going to keep all of them. So this is the darkest colour I have, and I know I've already said that I don't love dark colours that much. However, I love NARS and I just love their lipsticks, and as you can see, it's really dark on the bullet, but it's actually quite a nice wearable colour in my opinion. This is in the shade Thunder Kiss. This is potentially my most worn, 100% my most worn actually. I really love this one. It's definitely more of a pink tone, which is my kind of thing, but as you can see, it's just so beautiful. And this is in the shade Sweet Disposition. Then we have a slightly warmer toned colour. It's not quite reddish, but it's also a bit more of an orangey pink, I guess. I think that's fair to say, like a peachy colour. Beautiful as well. This is in the shade Indiscreet. And finally, you've guessed it, a stunning red. This is in the shade Feel My Fire. It's more of a cream finish, but it's just so pretty. I think that will be a really pretty one for the summer months. So, like I said, I'm keeping the whole collection. Another collection I now will be keeping are these Hourglass. I don't really know what to call them. They're kind of like gloss sticks. They are so beautiful. A real array of colours here, but they just offer such a beautiful like glossy finish, but they still have a fair amount of colour payoff as well. They're just so beautiful. I have 5 different shades, and as I said, I'm keeping every single one of them. And finally up here, I keep lip liners. I don't actually use lip liners that often, so I don't think I have that many. I mean, maybe you'll think I do actually have quite a lot. The majority of my collection is of Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talks. I have 3 of these. Sometimes I use these on their own without a lipstick on top. I just absolutely love these. I have 2 from MAC, both of these which are to go with darker lipsticks I own from MAC. So I have their Ruby Woo lip pencil, which of course is to match with their Ruby Woo lipstick, an iconic red. And then I also have the shade Vino, which is for darker purpley colours. I think I only own 1 sort of purpley plum lipstick, but a lip liner is so essential with a dark lipstick like that, so definitely keeping. This one is from Code 8 Beauty. I can't see the name of it, but it's a very nice colour, I think, and it's just a nice one to have, so I'm going to keep that one. It's not necessarily taking up too much space. This is a Laura Mercier one, and it's a really stunning red. I know I've said I can't really keep as many reds because I've been keeping them all, but I'm very tempted, so I'm going to keep this one as well. So that is this drawer done. I did say I couldn't promise it would be an excellent declutter. I think I got rid of 3 lipsticks, which is pretty bad job, to be honest with you, but it's not overflowing, it's not packed, it's still looking pretty clean in my opinion, so I'm happy with it. On to drawer number 2, and here is where I feel like we need to do a bit of a better job because this one is just quite full and there's a lot in there, so I would really like to sort it out a little bit. So I've divided up everything into different sort of categories. This one I would say is like the liquid lipsticks. So first up, this is from Too Faced and it's one of their melted liquefied lipsticks. This is really nice. Oh my gosh, this is a new one. I didn't know this was a new one. I was about to say, because I remember that they have this sort of spongy applicator, and if it was used, I wouldn't be too keen on keeping it because I don't know the last time I used this. But it's brand new. I didn't even know this was sitting in here brand new. And do you know what? I think the fact it's brand new is actually making me want to declutter it because I know someone else will get better use out of this. But on to 2 that I'm sure I will keep. They are from NARS. These are part of the Air Matte Lip Colour collections. They're just 2 really beautiful, easy colours to wear, and they're literally the colour that they are here. Keeping them both, I get a lot of use out of them. More NARS next. This is one of their liquid lipsticks. This is in the shade Star Woman, which if I'm not mistaken is one of like the cult red colours from NARS. It's a liquid lipstick, so again I'm going to keep it. Then I have this from YSL. This I am tempted to declutter. It is a very nice colour, don't get me wrong. I just don't really use liquid lipsticks like this that much anymore. And I already kept that one from Hourglass, which I think is very similar to this. And given the use I get of these, I just don't think it's that much, so I think I'm going to declutter. Then another 2 liquid lipsticks. These are from Bare Minerals and they're from their Lasting Matte collections. I definitely think I'm going to keep the red. We all know how much I love a red, and this is just such a nice, like, bright, vibrant colour. I think that's so pretty. That has tempted me to swatch the NARS as well, just to see whether they're going to be so different. Yeah, look at that. The NARS is just so much deeper and darker. It's really a very like true and rich red, whereas the NARS is definitely slightly pinkier and a bit more flirty in my opinion. But then I also have this slightly brown colour from Bare Minerals, which I'm unsure about, you know, because I just don't think that's the kind of colour I usually go for. It's called Brave, and I think it's not for me. I think I'm going to declutter. Next, I have glosses, quite a few glosses as well. This is a very pretty, just like pinky gloss to put over the lips from L'Oreal, so I think I will keep that one. And then I have these two from Maybelline, and I actually think this Maybelline one is going to be quite similar to the L'Oreal one. So actually, let me give them a bit of a swatch. As these are just, I mean, this one is nothing, basically. It really is just like a clear gloss finish to apply over any sort of lipstick. And this one, I wonder if this one has any colour payoff. It is slightly pinker. This one definitely has more of like a white cast, where this one is more pinky. I don't know, should I keep both of them? I'm unsure, that's a maybe. I have this Maybelline one as well. Maybelline launched so many of these. They have such a large collection. Now this is definitely darker, however, I think it's slightly more wearable because it's a gloss finish. I don't know if anybody else thinks that. Like if it's a darker colour, I kind of prefer it to be a bit more glossy because I think it will look a little bit more natural. This is in the shade Silk, by the way, and this one is in the shade Ice. This next one is a gloss from Laura Mercier, and as you can see, it's a very brown toned colour. I don't think I've ever tried this, so I'm going to see what I think about it. That is actually very nice. I think I'm going to keep that. I actually think I'll get a lot of wear out of that. That is very pretty. I have this from Honest Beauty, which I love. These are their glossy lip gloss, and they are just so nice. I have quite a few colours of these, and I think they're really pretty in the summer. So this one is in the shade Bronzite, and it's just so pretty. I really like these, so I'm definitely keeping that one. And then I have this from Carmex. It's Moisture Plus, and it's essentially Carmex but with some tint to it. It's, oh, I thought it was going to be a spongy applicator, but it's not. It's definitely just like a normal tube. But as this isn't quite a lipstick, I feel like it's more of a tinted lip balm than it is a lipstick. I'm going to move this into my handbag and hopefully just finish it up. Two lipsticks from Clinique. I really like both of these, but maybe I'll be able to declutter to just one. So this is the first shade. It's a really pretty subtle pink. These are actually matched with like your Clinique foundation, so they're the perfect shades for that foundation, if that makes sense. So essentially the perfect shades for your skin tone. This is in the colour Softly, and I did and still do get a lot of wear out of that one. And then this is another one. This is in the shade Delicate, so it's slightly darker, but again the same premise. I thought about decluttering one, but I think I'm going to keep them both. I just like them too much. A Trish McEvoy lipstick. Trish McEvoy is a fairly new brand to me. I know it's been around for ages, but it's one of those brands that is still a bit new to me. This is in the shade Perfection, and it's very pretty. This is from Bare Minerals, and this is part of their Bare Pro collection. A few years old now, but this is one of those that I have just kept ever since. This is in the shade Petal, and it's so pretty. I have this, which is the full size, and then I have the cutest little mini as well. Like, how cute is this? It's tiny, 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 but it's a great one to like pop in your handbag. But I never am certain if it's the same colour because it doesn't have the colour on it, annoyingly. Sometimes I think it's slightly pinker, sometimes I think it's identical, but I'm not sure. Today it's definitely looking slightly more cool toned, I want to say. Let me know what you think. I don't think you're ready for this next one. First of all, look at the packaging. It is absolutely stunning. This is from the brand Paul & Joe, and they do such beautiful packaging. It's all paper, so it's recyclable, but it's so pretty, and it's also reusable. So they sell the lipstick inserts separately. But just wait until you see this lipstick. If you've never seen a Paul & Joe lipstick, you are going to be absolutely mesmerized. I hope that's focused okay, but how cute is that? It's the most intricately designed kitten on the end of this lipstick. It's just too much. I'm never going to use this lipstick. Never, ever, 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 but it's just too cute to get rid of. I also just found this from Honest Beauty, which is actually a tinted lip balm. I think I thought this was a lipstick because it's tinted, but I've just read the packaging and it's actually a tinted lip balm. So lip balms don't belong in here. I'm going to find this a new home. I've just roughly placed all of those into the top drawer because I need to fill out the front before I can work out what works at the back in terms of organisation. But now we are on to the big bits, which is my MAC lipsticks. These are my MAC lipsticks. I've counted them and there are 20, which, to be honest with you, I think is excessive. However, I am very conscious that I call this a collection rather than like what I use every single day, basically. So I definitely hold this collection very dear to me. So I think I will struggle to part with any of these, to be honest with you. But let's start off with these small ones at the front. These were part of a Christmas exclusive set they did 2 or 3 years ago now, I think, but I've just kept them because they are honestly the cutest, and they're all just basically minis of iconic MAC shades. For instance, this is Nouvelle Vogue, which actually I've never tried, but I thought was a very pretty colour, so decided to hold on to it. This next one is Kinda Sexy, which is a very, very cult product, and actually I have this in full size as well. This one is the shade Sea Sheer. Again, I've never used this, but I just thought it was a really, really pretty MAC shade. As they're so small, I feel like it's fine to keep them, like I can justify it even though I've not used it, because they're all in sort of the colour family I like. Then we have a mini Ruby Woo, which if this is not a MAC cult product, I don't know what is. I think I have about 4 Ruby Woos in my collection, honestly. This is the shade Chili, which I've really thought about buying in the full size quite a few times, and then when I got the mini, I just never used it. So I need to see if I will go ahead and give that one a try. It's another really beautiful rich red. And the final mini from my collection is All Fired Up, which is a more pinky toned red. It looks very pink in the camera, like on my viewfinder. It's looking seriously pink, but it's not actually that pink in real life. It's definitely more of a pink toned red, I'd say, but still a very beautiful colour. Do you know what? I think I'm going to keep all of them, which is a bad start, but we're going to go with it. I have these 2 MAC lipsticks, which obviously have quite different packaging. These were part of a Lunar New Year collection they did, again, a good few years ago, maybe in 2018 or 2019. So I've had them for quite a long time, but that's why they have this packaging, because they were part of a limited collection. But they are classic MAC lipsticks, so you can still get these in the standard packaging. So I have 2 shades. This one is in the shade Marrakesh, which I don't think I've ever used, to be honest with you. It's a very dark colour, so it isn't necessarily my kind of colour, but I do love this packaging, so I'm unsure about this one. I do think this is one that I could potentially declutter, but it may be too hard to say goodbye to this packaging, so I don't know. The second colour that I have in this packaging is in the shade Cockney, and this one is a very beautiful red, actually. You know me, I am a sucker for a red lipstick. Definitely brand new. It's just the packaging. The packaging gets me, and then the colour is beautiful as well, and then I just find it incredibly hard to resist. I mean, they look stunning. Then I have these 3 lipsticks, which, as you can tell, are also in somewhat limited edition packaging. They're all reds, as you've probably guessed by the fact that, I mean, they're all in red packaging. So I have a sneaky suspicion that that is going to mean I'm going to want to keep them all. So first up, this is in the shade Devoted to Chili, which actually I have a mini in this, if I'm not mistaken, or is it just called Chili? I can't remember. But anyway, this is a very pretty red colour. I'm such a sucker for a red lipstick. It's so difficult for me to declutter red lipsticks. This does look absolutely stunning. So that's Devoted to Chili. Then I have the classic Ruby Woo. I definitely have it in this red packaging, but I also have it in standard packaging too. I feel like I have Ruby Woos absolutely everywhere. They're just such a cult, but look, it's literally the most perfect red. And then lastly, for these red lipsticks, this is Russian Red, which I hadn't tried, but as soon as I did try it, I fell in love with it. It's once again a slightly darker, more rich toned red, but just super nice. Honestly, I can't see myself saying goodbye to any of my MAC lipsticks. I'm just going to put that straight out there because I don't know, I just find it so hard. This is Velvet Teddy, which is iconic, as you can see, close to finishing that one, so definitely gonna keep it. Next up, Kinda Sexy, which I told you I really missed when I finished and instantly ran out to purchase it, so I'm definitely keeping this one. It's a beautiful shade for spring and summer, I find. I just think it's just really pretty, so I'm going to keep that. Now this is a wild card. This is the shade Rebel, and I remember when I got this, I think it was for my birthday. My friend got me this for my birthday, and I really wanted a deep dark colour. It's the only dark berry shade that I own, so I'm 100% going to be keeping this one. I need to wear it more. I find myself a bit too scared to wear it nowadays, but it's so stunning. Then I have Soar, which was actually on my wish list after seeing it on so many people and absolutely loving it. However, I put this on like a Christmas wish list or something like that, and when I received it, I'm not 100% sure if this is the perfect shade for me. It definitely feels a bit too deep, to be honest. I need to try it out and I need to experiment a little bit more. I'm not going to be getting rid of it because, like I said, I have such an affinity to MAC lipsticks, but I'm not sure I went quite right with this shade choice. This is another red. This is in the shade Dangerous, and this is just, in my opinion, a way richer red. I mean, it's perfect for the summer months. It's got a very orangey tinge to it, which I absolutely adore in the summer. This is the shade Yash, which is another one that was on my wish list after seeing so many people wearing and absolutely loving and raving about this shade. Honestly, I think it's maybe a little bit too nude and neutral for me, admittedly. However, I have been mixing it up with some other colours and I do actually end up liking how it looks. Then we have Lady Danger. Lady Danger is another one of mine that is very nearly finishing. Oh my goodness, how much I love this red. It's once again another red that is absolutely perfect for the summer months. Somewhat similar to Dangerous, but it's a bit richer in tone. It's definitely got a richer red. I absolutely love that as well. Here's the Ruby Woo I was talking about. This one is actually very nearly finished. It's way more used up than I thought it was. So I'm going to try and make a conscious effort to use this one and finish this one before I start on, or before I continue using my other Ruby Woo lipsticks, because this one is very nearly finished. But as I said, it's a cult, it's a classic, it's not going anywhere. And it would seem as though I left the best till last. This is my favourite MAC lipstick. This is MAC's Mare, and it's not really highly raved about or highly spoken about, but I love this. It's a sort of mauve colour. It's got a very purpley toned pink, or like a cool toned pink, which I love. I love this particularly in the winter months. I think it just really suits my skin tone and my colouring, so I love this. As you can see, it is very well loved, and this shows you the extent of my MAC lipstick collection. There are a heck of a lot of reds in here. I told you how much I love my red lipsticks, but I feel like this makes it even more obvious just how much I love them. Just looking at them like this, if I had to sort of choose ones that I'm uncertain about, it would have to be Yash, Soar and Marrakesh. They're the only ones that I think are potentially a little bit too brown toned for me, but I think I'm going to keep them all. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and set them out, put them in place and see how I feel, if I end up decluttering any or if I just keep the entire collection. Drawer number 2 complete, and actually that worked as well as could have been expected. This is all I'm getting rid of, which really isn't that much, but it does make quite a bit of difference. I mean, the drawers are all closing absolutely smoothly. No issues whatsoever. I mean, this opens and closes without a hitch. I always try and move these forward so that they meet at the front, but that closes absolutely smoothly. Same with the top. The top was probably the one that I was having the most issues with, but it's absolutely fine. I did say at the start of this video I couldn't promise it would be a hugely successful declutter, and in terms of decluttering, maybe not such a great job, but I hope you enjoyed watching the video anyway. If you did, please thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!